Hey everybody, we're going to be talking just a little bit about the scripter today. This is another one in the series about MIDI effects that I've been doing. This is one of the more complicated of all the MIDI effects. It's the most powerful probably. I'm just going to show you a couple of the presets that you can use to perhaps enhance some of your productions. We're going to talk about a preset that helps with drums and gives you some drum embellishments. We're going to look at a strummer for a guitar. And then we're going to look at this little stutter effect that you can use with any instrument, but I'm going to demo with the synthesizer. If you like what we're doing on this channel, please consider checking out the Patreon link down below. We are doing new alchemy patches every week, or 4 times a month rather. And so check that out. You're actually going to get some content. You're going to support an awesome cause of talking about Logic and working with Logic Pro. So check that out. Okay, so with the scripter effect, let me just load up an empty one so you can see what it looks like at first. So this is how it pops up, at least right now with mine. And you have the plugin parameter window, and then you have the script editor. And with this, it's actually going to take MIDI, and you can do so many different types of manipulations with it, all using JavaScript. So if you have some programming background, you can actually use this. If you don't, find somebody who might be able to help you realize some of your ideas for what you might want to do. Now I found that most of the other effects and things are enough for what I would ever want to do in Logic, but there are some really cool possibilities that we're going to look at for things. So let's get rid of this one, and let's start looking at this first drum track. Typical drum designer. I put the scripter on for this and went to the drum kit designer embellishments. Now with this, it adds these embellishments on these notes, C through B, and you get to choose your octave. And once you have this, you can actually go through, there's some default ones on there, but there are some additional ones. Another crash 2, crescendo, and some tom rolls, which are kind of cool. So these happen above now where the drum designer really is. It's up in 3rd octave. So this is C there. So we have a snare flam 1 and a 2, 3 hard. Then we have the drag 1, drag 2. Then we have a buzz, and another buzz, a little bit more, a little bit louder. We have a snare roll 1 and 2, 3 and 4, each with a little different feel. And then we have our crash crescendo. So some additional sounds that you can't get with a natural drum designer kit. They're not triggered from there in and of itself. They're not in that plugin. But using this, the scripter, we can add this functionality to the drum kit. So kind of a really cool way to get some of these type of snare rolls and hits and some of the other things. The toms, let's just throw this one up here. So let's do a tom mid roll on the C. So you can hear that as well. Okay, so one example of a way the scripter can actually help. On the acoustic guitar, we're doing the strummer. And so this has a strum, or it has an arpeggiator as well. That's like a guitar style arpeggiator. So after you choose which one you want, you can come down and make some other adjustments here. So strum controls, and then the arpeggiator or the arpeggio controls. So things like the division of the strum, the actual timing of it a little bit, some randomization, some velocity functionality. And then down below that, we actually set what chords we want for each of the notes. So you have to create your custom chord map to make this work. So if you're in a key of C, you're going to see that a lot of them are already set up for that. But if we wanted to change some of them or add some additional chords, we'd have to change that down here. So a really interesting way to interact now with some guitar parts that make them sound more real without having to spend countless hours programming each note individually. Now, if we want, we can actually open up the script editor, and you can see what it takes to make this. So quite a bit. There's all this code that does it. There's some instructions here. And this is actually a good place to look at this because sometimes it won't have all the instructions over on the right inside the actual plugin window. It'll have them in the script editor. This script mimics the strumming and arpeggiating of a guitar using actual guitar voicings. Chords can be mapped to a single note type, etc. So all of this additional information here. So this was the second one. The third one we're going to look at is a stutter, version 2. So you can add just a little bit of extra MIDI trigger notes at the beginning each time you play a single note. So right now I'm on group 2. Group 2 select with this slider. So group 2 right here. This one I actually have noticed every once in a while the MIDI snags and keeps on holding out. Especially with the higher stutter numbers. So again, we can open this up. You'll see what the difference is between this stutter and the version 2 and some other information, and then the actual coding for it as well. So if you wanted to actually make your own, you could come through and look at what's there, copy and paste code. You'll have to adjust some things, but it is possible to use some of the things that are here as a starting place. The other thing that's really cool is that there are places online where you can get free scripts. So people have made them. There's also a few places that sell them if you really want something that someone has put a lot of effort into. They think maybe it's worth some money. Perfect. But this is just another great tool in the Logic Toolkit, which allows us to continue to enhance our sounds, our patches, everything. And so definitely keep that in mind as you're using this, that don't forget about the scripter or be intimidated. You don't have to know any programming just to use it. Okay, hope you enjoyed this look at scripter. Let me know down in the comments if you've actually created your own scripts or have any favorites that you've downloaded from places. And once again, don't forget our Patreon account. Go check it out, support the channel, get those patches that we're creating every week. And I hope you're having a great week, and I'll see you next time.